Hi fans, and welcome to this Week 5 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Last Friday at the Wolverines, Woodland Hills evened their record to 2-2, but more importantly are now 2-1 in Southeastern Conference play. This week they play a pivotal game in the Southeastern Conference as they travel to Mount Lebanon to take on the Blue Devils. We're going to sit down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak to review last week's victory over Plum, preview this week's game against Mount Lebanon, and also let you see highlights of last week's game. All of that and more on the pregame show right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
27 seasons have taught us that when you play as one, you can get it done. So stand on it, Wolverines. Play with pride. We are Woodland Hills. This is the Wolverines.
This ball will carry to the 4-yard line on the return for Plum is Zachary Kuhn. Kuhn finds himself a crease to the near sideline, 30, 35, 40, 45. He fumbles the football and Woodland Hills recovers it. Sanders behind Randall. Sanders takes the handoff into open field, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and inside of the 30 to the 28-yard line. Snap goes a little awry. Harry Randall's going to go straight up the middle, inside of the 20, inside of the 15, still on his feet, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Woodland Hills. Counter comes to the near side. Woodland Hills sniffed that one out. Fuhrer off of a silent count. He's pressured. He's wrapped, eludes the first man, and is sacked by the second. Fuhrer looks to his left, throws to his left to Kyron McLean. Puts out the big left hand and swats it to the floor. Sanders behind Randall. Sanders takes the handoff, comes to the near side, 50, 45, dances to the 40, to the 35, out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Randall looks to the near side right. It is complete. On the reception, Dante Broadus. Broadus powering his way. And they're going to say he's down at the 1-yard line. He'll hand off. Sanders right into the end zone for the Woodland Hills touchdown. Slot to his right. And he lost the football at the 1-yard line. And it'll roll into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown. Handoff goes to Joe L. Shaw, the big bruising fullback, rumbling inside of the 25, and he'll be brought down. Randall sends a man in motion. It's Sanders who will motion into the formation, take the handoff on the end around to the far sideline. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Miles Sanders on the end around. Randall off of play action, steps up into the pocket, throws it, it's complete. It's Mike Smith to the far sideline, brought down at the 31-yard line. Handoff will go to Joe L. Shaw, and Joe L. Shaw barreling inside of the 5. This will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. Nice snap, good hold, and that kick is up, and that kick is good. Fuhrer, pressured, hit, knocked down by James Eggleston. Good snap. Fuhrer pressured, hit as he releases the football, and it's intercepted along the near hash. And the handoff will go to the tailback, Nigel Henderson. Jeremiah Jones rolls to his right, throws, and reaching down and grabbing a hold of that pass is Heaven Price. Little high snap, handoff as Shaw takes it from Jones, and Shaw barrels his way into the end zone. Jeremiah Jones looks to his left, throws to his left, a nice pass down that far boundary. Jones, draw handoff, Nigel Henderson inside of the 15, cutting it to the far side. Dodges a man at the 5 and into the end zone he will go. Fuhrer pumps, pressured, rolls to the near side. He'll be wrapped and he will be brought down shy of the line of scrimmage. Harry Randall's going to run it down along the far hash at the 17, to the 30, to the 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Harry Randall 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone. Harry Randall with a punt return for a touchdown. Your final score, Woodland Hills defeats the Plum Mustangs 51-0. Next week, we travel to Mount Lebanon as the Wolverines take on the Blue Devils.
Hi again, fans, and welcome to this Week 5 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. I'm Adam Gusky here, sitting down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. And Coach Novak, before we talk about this week's game against Mount Lebanon, let's take a look back to last week's victory over the Plum Mustangs. Pretty successful in every phase of the football game.
Yeah, you know, Adam, we're getting better every week. You know, we have a lot of young guys playing. Last week we started 5 sophomores on offense. Right before the game, actually, the doctor didn't clear Danny Gibson to play, so he didn't play, and we had to use Eric Mitchell, and he went in and did an outstanding job for us. So, you know, we've got a lot of young kids, and the older kids are showing some great leadership. We're getting better. We still got to get better, but, you know, we were clicking in a lot of aspects, and, you know, Plum's a new program with a new coach, and they're trying to find an identity yet, and, you know, they made some critical mistakes. When you're playing us and you make a lot of mistakes, it turns up you're on the short end of the stick usually, but, you know, our kids took advantage of it and just played really well.
One of those sophomores that you mentioned is really starting to make a name for himself over the past 2 weeks, Joel Shaw, kind of shifting from an H-back tight end to a fullback last week, and he really shined.
Yeah, Joel has a lot of potential as an athlete. You know, he's a big, strong kid. He can catch the ball. He can run the football. He's an outstanding blocker, and, you know, we could use him in a lot of different ways, and we did last week. He scored his first high school touchdown last week, which was nice for him, and you know, he runs the ball and he does a nice job blocking also.
Let's talk about that blocking, especially the offensive line. You mentioned Gibson couldn't go. You didn't have Jimmy Rooney in the lineup, but you still were able to run the ball for over 200 yards, and a very deep backfield saw a lot of action.
Yeah, you know, we didn't want to overuse Miles or Harry once we got things rolling there, so you know, our backups, Nigel Henderson got a lot of reps at tailback, and Jeremiah Jones got a lot of reps, played the whole half at quarterback. So, you know, they got a lot of experience, and, you know, trying to develop those guys because you never know when you're going to need them.
Talk about how important it is to have such depth at the offensive line where you can come up with over 200 yards while just having 3 of the 5 usual starters out there.
Yeah, 2 of them were out, and, you know, we moved James Eggleston to defense primarily, and Vic Bilberry came in and did a nice job at guard for us. And Jimmy Rooney was out. He's back this week, but, you know, we missed him. And Jay Cassidy came in and did a great job snapping the ball. So, you know, the kids put it together. That's the way high school football is. You know, you go from week to week and you get some injuries, and the next guy got to get in there and do a good job.
You've put together 2 straight wins. The one glaring fault thus far in those 2 wins has been the kickoff coverage.
You're definitely right. You know, a lot of teams, we kick it to one side, and they've been returning it to the opposite side. Part of it was some personnel switching we did, and part of it was just our over-aggressiveness pursuing the football.
Coach, let's talk about the defense. You mentioned Eggleston now being defense only, and that defense really seems to be gelling over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've gotten better every week, and, like, you know, he's a new player for us. He's done an outstanding job. Great pass rusher, good run stopper. He will still play some offense, but you know, we try to utilize him, give him a little bit of a rest. I think as much as you can 2 platoon, you try to do it. And he's a guy that, you know, just learning the system, we felt would be better. He's stronger on defense as a result of it.
One of the things I've noticed about this defense that's a little different than years past is there's no 1 or 2 big stars. It seems like a whole team effort.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a group of guys who play as one, and you know, they all have assignment football. They all have good speed. They run to the ball, and you know, they're aggressive players. And, you know, they make mistakes, but sometimes the speed makes up for it.
Coach, let's talk about the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, a team that's been a kind of a roller coaster thus far this season, but always tough to play on the road in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, you know, I expected Mount Lebanon to have a pretty good football team this year. They're rebuilding to some extent, but they got some very good, they got 2 big-time Division I football players. Probably one of the best linemen in the WPL, maybe in the state. Has a lot of big-time offers, and we'll be facing him this week, and he does a great job for them, both sides of the ball. And the Apke kid scored 4 touchdowns against us last year in the passing game. So, you know, they got a couple threats over there, and they got a solid team, and, you know, we're looking for a tough football game over there.
Coach, one of your alumni starting to make his way back into the NFL is Rob Gronkowski. He's always been a beast.
Oh, yeah, just an outstanding player. And, yeah, he's a great kid, outstanding player. I can't say enough about Rob. You know, he's just a good nature. He's still a young kid. I mean, you know, he got through college early and, you know, been in the pros a couple years. Just a phenomenal young man and doing a great job at football. And, you know, he's healed up well, and just, I think they're kind of taking it slow and making sure he doesn't get hurt so he's there for the run at the end of the season.
Coach Novak, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck this week against the Blue Devils.
Thanks, Adam.
We'll be right back after this with more of the pregame show on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Again, fans, we thank you for joining us for the pregame show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. If you can't make it to the stadium this upcoming Friday night, you can listen on our flagship radio station, AM 1550 WZUM, on the web at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com. We'll also have our live radio coverage on the MSA Sports Network at msasports.net. You can tune into our television coverage on Monroeville Comcast Cable Channel 13, Penn Hills Comcast Cable Channel 98, and Verizon Fios Channel 37. And as always, we'll have video replays on all of our television affiliates and our YouTube channel. For everybody at the Woodland Hills Football Network, I'm Adam Gusky, and we'll see you next week. This has been a presentation of the Woodland Hills Football Network. Watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and as always, visit us at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com.